You're watching BBC One. It's now time to get live to the Whitehaven Maritime Festival for a special edition of BBC News and Sport on tour.
Hi there, I'm Ellen.
And I'm Brad.
This is News Round at BBC News and Sport on tour here at the Whitehaven Maritime Festival. First today, you may be used to getting told off by your parents, but how about being shouted at by a camera? It might sound a bit odd, but talking cameras are being used in loads of towns and cities, and 3 lucky kids are going to be the voices behind the cameras. It's hoped they will stop people from dropping rubbish and behaving badly. Next, you've probably heard of a famous book called Around the World in 80 Days, where one adventurer took up the challenge of getting around the Lake District in 80 days. Ian Wood spent 2 days getting about in loads of crazy ways. He walked on stilts, jumped on Space Hopper, and even travelled on a loo. But best of all, he raised lots of money for a charity along the way. They're creepy and a little bit crawly, but they turn into something really beautiful and very rare. Thousands of these caterpillars have been released in Cumbria. They will turn into a really rare butterfly which has been extinct in the area for the last 3 years. When some baby tawny owls were abandoned, things looked a bit bleak, but the bleaky group, it wasn't long until a new mum showed up, although she is a bit stuffy. That's because she's a fluffy toy. Staff looking after the owls say the toy will help them keep warm, and the fake mum even managed to stop the babies from fighting just by giving them the silent treatment. That's today's top stories. Next is the special report. Press packer Jade is checking out what's going on and around the tents at BBC News and Sport on tour in Whitehaven.
Hi, I'm here in the interactive tent. As you can see, there's a lot going on. There's people on computers, a big TV behind me. The weather's getting a bit bad now. I think they've stopped people going on the big boat. We've just been on it and it's very good. They've just set the cannon off again. I jumped, but my old junior school's just arrived, so I've just seen them. The Tour de France is over there. Some of my friends are on that. It's getting a lot colder now, so back to you in the studio.
Thanks Jade. Now for all the latest sport news, here's Brad.
Carlisle United may have missed out on the chance to be in the League One playoff finals, but their manager says fans still have a lot to be happy about. Despite being beaten by Swansea in the last game of the season, the Carlisle manager says this season has been fantastic and he's very proud of the players. Next up, Whitehaven's Rugby League club's getting ready for one of its biggest games of the year. Haven take on Halifax in the Northern Rail Cup semi-final next Sunday. Last year they got knocked out in the quarter-finals, so this time players and fans are desperate to get their hands on the trophy. And finally, to a very different kind of sport that's a lot woollier than horse racing. This is the annual Sheep Grand National. The contestants have to jump small fences and they're pretty fast on their hooves. This year the race was won by Ginger Nut, who shared his tasty prize with the rest of the racers. Well, that's the news and sport for the moment, but what's the weather looking like? Over to Chantel for the outlook.
Thanks for that, Brad. How is the weather today? It's blooming horrible. Well, the clouds are sticking to us, almost suffocating us. Better in Scotland, but it's moving up, so Scotland, clouds coming for you. Watch out. Let's take a closer look. Oh, rain, rain, rain. There's puddles everywhere in Whitehaven, well, Cumbria. Not good for the Maritime Festival. Well, it's cold and at 10 degrees, I expect it. But over the weekend it's going to get warmer, less clouds. Just better. So keep your hopes up, but there'll still be a few showers. Back over to Ellen. Thanks.
Thank you, Chantal, and don't forget you can keep up to date with all the top stories on the Newsround website at bbc.co.uk/CBBC.
And if you want to find out more about news and sport on tour, we've got our own website at bbc.co.uk/on-tour. We'll have another programme a little bit later, but for now, from all the team here on the show,